Hello, my name's Claire and this is Stitch Sew. Thank you so much for joining me today for another video. Today's video is going to be a fabric haul. Now, I've never done an exclusive fabric haul video before, but I've picked up a few fabrics over the last month or so and I thought I'd share them with you today. So I really enjoy fabric haul videos, so I really hope you'll enjoy today's video, and if you do so, please do give me a like, drop me a comment, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. That would be fantastic. So here are today's fabrics and let's get into them. So it's a bit of a collection of fabrics in terms of where I've picked these fabrics up from. Some of them are thrifted, some they have been given to me by a friend, some from Pound Fabrics, some from Pennies by Fabric Community Group, and one from a destash, and one from Cutting Edge Fabrics. So as you can see, a collective mix of where I've picked these up over the last month or so. So the first fabric is this blue fabric here, a blue spotty fabric. It's quite a bright blue with black spots on. Let me just put this pile of fabrics down so we can talk about it properly. So as I say, quite a bright blue, black spotty fabric. Now I picked this up in a charity shop. It's about 2 meters of fabric here, and I just picked this up for a few £. Now it's not necessarily something that I would have spent lots of money on, but I thought it would be a great fabric to do a toile in, or something along those lines. So I think it is a cotton, maybe cotton poplin. I've washed it now. Actually, it feels a lot softer than it did before I washed it, so maybe it is a cotton. It's a little bit, maybe a little bit see-through, but it would probably be all right next to the skin. Actually, I don't think you'd necessarily see through it particularly. So I could try a top in that or something. Yeah, not quite sure what I've got planned for that, but I just thought it was a good one to have in my stash. Now the next couple of fabrics that I've got here were given to me by a friend that I work with. She was having a clear out. She'd messaged me to say she'd got a couple of fabrics and did I want them. Now I don't know about you, but I don't ever really say no to fabric if someone's going to give them to me. She'd picked them up, I think, to make some bunting when her daughter was a baby, and her daughter is about 8 or 9 now, so they just sat in the cupboard and they never got made up. So the first fabric, she's not I don't think she's particularly into sewing herself, but she obviously thought it was a good idea. But the first fabric I wouldn't necessarily have made bunting with, because it is a stretch fabric. It's this again polka dot fabric, so it is this sort of lemony yellow colour. It's not a colour that I would have chosen particularly. I wouldn't have picked this one up particularly, but it is quite cute with the white spotty dots on. I think there's probably about 1 metre there of the fabric, and at some point I'm sure I'll find something that I want to make with that. Even if it's not a garment or something, I'm sure I'll find something at some point that I think is the right project for that particular piece of fabric. So the second fabric that she gave me is a cotton fabric. It's a ticking fabric, and it's just a green and white striped, or green and sort of creamy based striped fabric, which I think would be ideal for lining a bag or a different craft project that will definitely get used at some point in the not too distant future, I expect. I love making things for other people, so that would definitely make a good kind of bag lining, or cosmetics bag lining, or something along those lines. That will definitely get used up. Now the next 3 fabrics I picked up from Pound Fabrics. Now I've ordered from Pound Fabrics maybe 2 or 3 times now, and I'm never disappointed. Their fabric prices are very reasonable, and they've often got fabrics that other fabric shops have got in, and they are a much more reasonable price. You do have to pick your way through in terms of what you particularly like, but they do have a great array of different fabrics. Now the first fabric I picked up was just a metre of this really fun fabric, space theme type fabric, and I just thought at some point I might make my boys maybe some shorts, like pyjama shorts, for when the weather gets warmer. And yeah, I've just picked up a metre of that one. It's really cute, got a sort of a blue background, a sort of royal blue I guess background, with these little space creatures on and spaceships, etc. And it just says outer space in various locations there. So just a fun, cute little fabric, something for my boys. Now the next fabric is a tealy green jersey, lycra jersey fabric. Again, I've picked up a metre of this, which I'll make a top out of, I think, at some point. A t-shirt, really nice quality. I think this was £7.99 a metre, so for a cotton lycra jersey, that's pretty reasonable, I would say. Oh, and this this fabric here was £2 a metre, cheap as chips. The next fabric, again from Pan Fabrics, was this fabric here. This is a cotton poplin fabric, a dark, not quite navy, just sort of off from navy, I would say, base with these gorgeous coral and sort of teal leaves on. I think that's really pretty. I don't think it's directional. I think you could, I'm not sure, maybe it is. Let me know what you think. Do you think it's got a direction to it? Anyway, really gorgeous. It's got a really nice feel to it, actually. I haven't washed this one yet, but it just feels really, it's really smooth, you know. It's yeah, it feels like a good quality cotton. And this one I think was like £3.99 a metre, and I picked up 3 metres. Some sort of dress or something for the summer. I haven't quite worked out my plan for that one, but I just thought it was gorgeous. Now the next 3 fabrics came as a little sort of pre-bundle, if you like. Now these were from Fabrics by Penny community group on Facebook. I found out about this particular face group from Adam Sews. He talks about them quite regularly and talks about the quality of the fabric, so I've been part of their Facebook group now for a good few months, and probably before Christmas I would have thought that I joined, and I hadn't really got round to ordering anything, but definitely was sort of on my mind to do so. And when this little bundle came up, I thought it was really good. So I got a metre of this really fun fabric. Now I possibly might make something for my husband in this particular fabric. I'm not quite sure yet. He does quite like it. There's a metre of this, so I'll probably have to do a bit of colour blocking. But then I've got half a metre of this red cotton lycra. So this was a cotton lycra as well. And then I've got half a metre of this sort of royal blue ribbing fabric. So I think it will make something really nice. So it'll either be something for my husband, something for me, or something for my boys. I haven't quite worked it out yet. It depends on kind of what I come up with. I think my husband really likes this fabric, but he wasn't quite so sure about the colour blocking side of things. But I just don't think he's got the vision. I think it would look great with you know, a raglan sleeved top. So with this, with the sort of main body, and then with the red sleeves, I think that would look really great. And with the royal blue ribbing on the neckband, I think it would look really good myself. But we will see whether he decides that he wants to go for that one or not, because I'm not going to waste this fabric on him if he doesn't think that he's going to like it. Now the next fabric that I've picked up was from a destash. Now you may well have seen in one of my previous videos the Sew Yellow for Endo challenge that I was taking part in, and I'll link a card to my reveal video for that particular challenge. Now, Sew Yellow for Endo was to raise awareness for endometriosis, and the idea was that you post a yellow make donate to Endometriosis UK, and put a fact in on Instagram along with your reveal picture of something you've learned about endometriosis. Now, in the lead up to the 26th of March, which was the reveal date, I think it was the weekend of the 12th and 13th of March, Jess, who is So What If I Sew, who had arranged the challenge, had suggested that people may wish to destash any fabrics that they didn't want, and then put whatever they wanted in terms of donation from selling those fabrics to go to Endometriosis UK. Now, obviously, it was up to the person that was selling the fabrics to decide how much they were going to donate, whether it be kind of half of the profits, or the whole amount, or a couple of pound, or whatever. It was really up to them. So I happened to notice this particular fabric being sold on Lucy's destash page, and I think it was just on her Instagram. I don't think it was necessarily her destash, it was just on her general Instagram page. It is a French terry. It's obviously a Christmassy type fabric, although it's not your traditional Christmas colours particularly, but there was I've picked up 3 meters, I think, of this French terry, and I'm just going to pop it away obviously for Christmas time. I think it will make either great Christmas jumpers or Christmas pyjamas. Christmas fabric closer to Christmas is obviously, the closer you get to Christmas, the more expensive it tends to be. So I'm delighted to have picked this one up. So thank you so much to Lucy for selling me this fabric, and thank you to Jess from So What If I Sew for arranging the challenge Sew Yellow for Endo and raising awareness for endometriosis. Now, the last fabric that I've got to share with you today is this rusty wine colour needle cord fabric. Now, I picked this up from a shop in Basingstoke called Cutting Edge. They tend to have a much larger selection of upholstery and sort of curtainy type fabrics, but they do have a selection of dressmaking fabrics too. It's one of those shops where they tend to get quite a lot of stock in, and it doesn't stick around for a particularly long amount of time. So if you see it, you buy it, because otherwise it won't be there the next time. So yeah, I picked up this needle cord fabric. It doesn't have any stretch to it. It is reasonably weighty, and not particularly seasonally appropriate to the spring and summer months that we're coming into. So when I picked this up, I had in mind the Waves and Wild Penelope, I think it's the Penelope Pinafore, and I'll pop the name of it down here, pattern that I'd put on my Make 9 previously. But looking into it a bit more, it does say ideally that it should be have a fabric that's got a bit of stretching, just to make it a bit more comfortable. So I'm not sure that this fabric was the best buy. So have you got any pattern suggestions for what I could use this fabric for? As you can see, it's a reasonably heavy fabric. There's there's not a huge amount of drape to it, and I don't quite know what to do with it. I believe I've got 2.5 meters of it, and I really like it, but I'm a little bit lost on what to do with it now, because what I thought I could make from it, I'm not convinced that I can. Have any of you made that particular pattern or a similar pinafore type pattern? Would it work okay with this sort of reasonably heavyweight? It's not heavy, but it's not a really thin needle cord either. Well folks, I think that's all from me today. I do hope you've enjoyed today's video and seeing the fabrics that I've been buying. If you do have any suggestions for any of the fabrics that I've shown you today, please do drop me a comment. I try to reply to every comment that I receive. I really do enjoy speaking to everybody in the comments. So until next time, take care, happy sewing. Bye bye.